Hi, Corey. Will here. So, you asked for a love and relationship reading, and Lord knows I'm an expert at love and relationships, so I'm going to have one of those coming right up for you. And you asked some interesting questions about tarot cards and psychic work, and I'm hoping that I can maybe demystify this for you a little bit and kind of work you through my process in this video. I've got a couple other tutorials on here too, but I'll go through this with you and make this personal to your reading too. So I'll kind of show you a little bit about how this operates, and we're getting some cards for you right now. Now, I've got a typical spread. A spread is the way that I lay the cards that I use for love and relationship readings. And since you've expressed some interest in me, we'll give you a big one with lots of information here. And we'll see what comes out. Let's see. I'm picking these cards kind of at random off the deck. But I think I got what? I just drew like 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 cards here. And there's plenty of answers that can be drawn from 9 cards. So I'll invite you to reach out to me and ask as many questions as you want that I don't answer in this video. But let's turn it around and have a look at these cards. Okay, so I'm going to push this back a little bit so I've got some more room. Okay. So this here's what a typical spread looks like for me. Okay, so what I have here is these cards which relate to your position or what you currently have going on in your life. And then over here, these are the cards related to the people in your life. And in this case, these would be potential romantic interests or people that you're already involved with. Now, right here is what draws you to the people in your life or a potential conflict that pulls them away, or this is the energy that lies between you and the people in your life. And right up here is, these are either advice cards or potential outcomes, depending on how this goes. And these are also. So let's get. Okay, prop my phone back up. Okay, so the first card that I pulled representing where you're at, I see this is the Two of Swords. Now, Swords is a card of like logic and intellect, and I see this card being that it's a 2. This is a card of tough decisions. Now, what I see with this being that it's in reversed is that there is something like some kind of tie that you've had to sever or are working on severing that was no longer serving you, and it's been tough for you to look at the situation objectively, but you know what you need to do and you're making the right steps to do it, but it's been at some like emotional cost for you. It's something that's been hard for you to do. It's not the easy choice, but it's a choice that's necessary for you to make. So when the cards are drawn in the reverse position, they kind of have it kind of warps the meaning of it from a inherently positive reading to maybe something that's a little bit more amplified or a little bit more difficult. It's like each of these cards represents a lesson that we've learned or that we need to learn or that we're in the process of learning. And when the cards are in reverse, I see it as being more of a difficult lesson, and we may have to make some sacrifice or go through and endure some pain in order to reach the outcome that we're meant to reach for. So the next card that I drew is the Four of Cups reversed. So the Four of Cups, if you look at the guy there, he's got these cups, and cups represent emotion. And if we look at the gentleman in the card, he's sitting there and he's got the cups on the ground, and he's got one cup that's being offered to him, but he's not content with these cups. So I see this as like you having some type of like a romantic offer, being that this is a love reading, but it's something that you're not interested in, but it was a hard decision for you to come to. Maybe this is a lesson that you've already learned in the past, and you've had a similar situation presented to you, and you're reluctant to jump on it, and you know you need to make a cut because that's what's best for you. So let's go over to the people in your life. The first card I drew for the people in your life is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords represents a message, and it's a message, it's like an important piece of information that's being relayed to us. So, this is maybe somebody telling you, like, hey, like, you've already done this before, be careful about making this mistake again. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a human messenger, it can be like this can also, I would say that the Page of Swords can also represent like your higher knowing or your intuition, like we know better than this and we're not going to make the same mistake twice. Now, the next card that I drew representing the people in your life is the Nine of Pentacles. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is a card of like a material completion, or like a, if we look at the card, this guy's got his bird, he's got all the pentacles, which represents materiality or craft, work, business, things of that nature. And he's out in this beautiful garden with all of his pentacles, and he's got his bird and he's got his beautiful robe. And those are the things that are making him happy, but I don't think that those are necessarily the things that make you happy. I see you as wanting something more than just material achievement. You're thriving for more, and I think that you've had these material situations presented to you and you've known better, and it just hasn't felt right for you, and you're trusting your intuition. Now, the next card that I drew is the Four of Swords. Now, the Four of Swords is a card of rest. I can see you taking a break from maybe the dating game for a little bit, or at least taking a step back or approaching it from a new perspective, like a place of caution rather than a place of like, we're not out go-getting. This is a card of like I think what the book says on this card is rest from strife. So maybe we've been through this situation before, or we feel exhausted or emotionally fatigued from thinking about this difficult situation or scenario, and we're giving ourselves a rest, or putting some space between us and that which has caused us this difficult decision, or I don't want to say grief and anguish, but the disappointment, because I see this as definitely in the reverse position as a card of disappointment. Okay, so let's see some potential outcomes or advice. So I drew the Six of Swords. Lots of swords in this reading, and I see this as a card of like a hasty escape. It means that we learned the lesson that we need to learn, and we're making an escape, but we need to be careful not to make that escape too quickly and not to make the mistake at our own peril. Now, if you look at the card, we got the gentleman rowing the boat, and I can see that being, oh, yeah, I think that's probably you. And the people in there represent your belongings and what you've gained from the situation. But the boat's poked full of swords. So he might be rowing and making an escape, but you can't get too far out on the river, the lake, or wherever he's at with a boat poked full of swords. So I would take some time it might be important for you to take a little bit of time for yourself and to heal and fix your boat before you go out and allow yourself to be hurt again. The next card that I drew is the Judgment reversed. Now, I see this as, and I think that these cards kind of relate to one another, because I see the Judgment card as like it's lack of forgiveness. I think that there's something that you need to let go of, that you're holding on to, that's still causing you anguish and causing your boat to be poked full of swords, but you're reluctant to give up the ghost yet. You're reluctant to move forward and offer whoever it is that's wronged you forgiveness, but also forgiveness for yourself as well. I think that it's most important for us to forgive ourselves before we can forgive other people. We all make mistakes in situations like this, and it's okay. We just need to extract the lessons from it and move forward. All right. So some other cards that I drew here. The next card is the Knight of Pentacles. I see this as a card. Now, I wish I could show you the other knights, but what's interesting about the Knight of Pentacles is that he's the only knight that's not moving forward. Now, if we look at all the other knights, they're on their horses are reared up, they're riding fast and moving forward, and they're a little bit more reckless. But I think that this is because like material situations are slower to build. Now, we can build knowledge quickly, not too quickly, but we can build it quickly. We can build passion quickly. We can build love quickly. But our material situation, like I see this as like being protective of what we've worked for and what we've got already. I think that that's important for you to recognize. Like you've got a lot to offer whoever it is that's lucky enough to come into your life. And I think that it's important that you preserve that and don't give it all away too quickly. Be like the Knight of Pentacles, because Not everyone has your best interest in mind. This is the Seven of Swords, and I see this is a card of like a, you could interpret it, and this was drawn in the reverse position too, by the way. This could be interpreted as either like an escape, perhaps, or it could be interpreted as even like a theft or deception. I really hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. I can extract a lot of information, and I'm going to be probably taking a picture of this reading too, and I'd be happy to pull more for you. Thank you very much. You have a great day.